This is the monthly chart on Tilray, and it's very dismal, very ugly. Now the question is whether Tilray has bottomed, whether Tilray has been basing, and can we anticipate Tilray moving up over time as you are sitting at all-time lows. So the way that we answer that, we look at the fundamentals. If I put a line at, say, $2, put a line at, wow, $300, obviously a price is selling at a discount, and maybe for good reasons, right? Up at 300, prices at wholesale prices, very expensive. So let's look at their earnings that they released on Wednesday before we continue with the analysis. This article is coming from the Motley Fool. While Tilray stock soared 17%. So I guess the earnings were better than expected. Still mixed, as the quarter was decent, but overall they're still not making any money. Investors seem to be focusing more on the revenue story than the wider than expected loss. But even the earnings news wasn't all bad. Fiscal Q4, Tilray grew its revenue by 20% year over year, setting a record for quarterly sales and strengthening its position as the #1 cannabis company in Canada by market share. The company reported a 37% gross profit margin for the quarter, with profit margins especially strong in cannabis and alcohol, while distribution margins improved to a still low 9%. The company still lost $120 million, but this was a big improvement over last year's fiscal Q4 loss of $458 million. Perhaps best of all, Tilray says it exceeded in generating positive operating cash flow of $44 million for the quarter, positive operating cash flow of $8 million for the year, and positive adjusted free cash flow across all operating segments in fiscal 2023. Nevertheless, they still lost money, $1.4 billion, and still had free cash flow of negative $12.9 million. So yes, Tilray is still losing money and burning cash, and nor is management giving any forward guidance of possibly making money. So without positive income or free cash flow, Motley Fool says it's hard to price Tilray. So all you have is the technicals. So let's get back to the charts. Again, this is the monthly chart. And what you can see is price is continuing to respect this 13 simple monthly moving average. So right off the bat, until we get a crossover of and a close above the moving average on the monthly chart, it is not a buy, right? That's just a gross way to assess whether a stock is a buy or not. In this case, whether Tilray is a buy or not. Let's go to the weekly chart. You could also see that the moving averages are still pointing down. Now, moving averages are a lagging indicator. So price action is going to give you the best guidance of where price is heading next. Now, the surge on volume was due to earnings on Thursday. But again, moving average is still pointing down on the weekly chart as well. All right, let's go to the daily chart. Okay, so potentially price has bottomed. You have this rounded out accumulation phase. You have the RSI making higher lows. So typically when a stock bottoms doesn't shoot straight up, I do anticipate a retest, maybe in the form of a double bottom. So yes, I am anticipating Tilray retesting the lows, and that would be a great indication and or confirmation that you did bottom. I like to look for W patterns. So let's look for a retest in the coming months before potentially moving higher. And a break of 230, which would be the apex of this W, would potentially indicate that price is going to move higher. Again, scrolling back out to the monthly chart. That's also going to allow the monthly moving average to catch up somewhat, or to plateau, or bottom out rather. So Tilray is not a buy yet. Potentially it will be in the future, maybe 2024. And that's when I would start looking to potentially go long Tilray. It's worth noting that you do have resistance at the 250 level. And that's going to be a big test for price once price gets back there. Support, support. It's now going to become resistance. So conservatively, you wait for a break of 230. Aggressively, wait for a break of 230. Conservatively, wait for a break and a close above the 250 level. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Please like the video.